Happy Wednesday evening. How are you? And thank you all for joining us this evening on Get to Know Bob. I am your host, Sonia Weaver, and I am excited about tonight's show. We're going to be talking about dollars and cents, not the CENTS, but the SENSE, cents. Do you have any? That's my question. Seriously, do you have any sense when it comes to your dollars? And if you don't, then that's what you're here for. We're going to be talking about those office hours for financial tips and tricks. Is there financial tricks? I mean, I say there's a few because you know that you have to trick your mind sometimes into doing certain things, such as when I was doing my Christmas I guess monies to have available for Christmas season. I did the $5 challenge. So I did everything that year, paying with cash. If I got any change back and it was a $5 bill, it had to go into the Christmas savings. And then by the end of that Christmas season, I pulled that money out and I used it for Christmas shopping. That was one trick. You know, sometimes you have some tricks where you just have the envelopes and all these different things. And we can call them tricks, we can call them tips, call them whatever you want. But it makes sense to do what you need to do to be financially positioned where you want to go, right? And so that's the conversation we're going to have tonight. And that's why I'm excited, okay? But before we do that, let me tell you, have you ever pondered when I say, self care is important? Have you thought about the difference between self care and self maintenance? Put a plug in that and think about it because I experienced self care this weekend. I actually had an experience of a sound bath. Now, it was a phenomenal thing. I would have to say I really enjoyed myself. I went to Bloom Transformation Center. Shout out to Dr. Rose. Amazing experience. And it's not the first time that I experienced frequency. Okay, but the whole experience of all the different type of sound instrumentations was phenomenal. Now, you know your girl don't know how to shut off her brain. So there was a point where I was getting very relaxed and all of a sudden jumped in my head like, oh shit, did I have an alarm set on my phone? Is my phone about to go off in the middle of this therapy? And for the next few seconds, I sat here thinking like, oh my God, do I get up? Do I check? And it was really pissing me off because it ruined my whole vibe of meditating. And as you can see in this video, this is what Bloom Transformation Center looks like from the inside. Here are some of the instrumentations, and then we have these, I don't know, the floor beds, I don't know what to call them, but it was phenomenal because I just laid it all the way down and I got an opportunity to just totally relax. And that's what I was excited about. So, yeah, if you have not had this experience of being at Bloom Transformation Center, then I really would encourage you to take an opportunity to do so. If you are in the Metro Detroit areas, right in our downtown Detroit area, right at the water. And I actually went to the water before the appointment and it just got me in that mode. It's something about going to the water anyway that just does something to you therapeutically. So great experience. I would highly recommend that you participate in the whole experience of, Bloom Transformation Center. Now, some other things that started off my year, if you have not already done so, I would say make sure you take the opportunity to see our video that we did last week when we did our New Year's Day. Happy New Year to those who are here and missed last week. Yes, Happy New Year 2024. How are you going to do 2024 differently? I don't do those resolutions. I don't believe in the resolutions. You have to do some lifestyle changes and then you do those tangible goals. So when you're looking at what didn't go well for you, what are you going to change in your lifestyle? If you feel that your health isn't where it's going to be, what are you going to do? You going to keep eating Twinkies and ding dongs? Or are you really going to make a lifestyle change and say, you know what? I control what goes in here. I'm not going to eat X, Y, and Z, or I'm going to reduce it at least. You know, you have to make changes to see a difference. You can't think that you're going to maneuver and then buy some mimosas or whatever it's going to change. You have to actively make the choice, make the decision to make the change so you can see the results that you're looking for. So again, Happy New Year. It is time for you to have a whole new attitude, and I want you to embrace those lifestyle changes. On tonight's show, as we talk about dollars and cents, it will make sense for us to have the amazing woman that she is, financial strategist, on, which is the phenomenal Crystal Gunn. And we thank her for always being available to be on our show. And here she is. Hello, how are you, my darling?
Fantastic. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will say that every time a new year comes for me, I do think about finances.
Mhm,
It's always there.
mhm,
It's like health, finances, relationships. It's almost the same thing every year. And there's been years where it's like, woohoo, yes. And then there's been years like, what the heck happened? You know? But every year it's been an evaluation of that previous year. And then what can I put in place to make those changes? And so before we go into you responding about a new year from a financial strategist viewpoint,
mhm.
I'm going to pass the baton to you so you have an opportunity to share with those watching who you are, a little bit about what you do, and then why you do what you do. And you can throw in some fun facts about Miss Crystal as well.
Okay, well, I am Crystal L. Gunn. I am a financial strategist and small business advisor. And I do what I do, one, because it's my assignment, right? And so everything I do falls under three pillars: reclaiming personal power, mind, body, and spirit, reclaiming financial power, and increasing social involvement. And everything falls under those pillars. But doing the financial and small business strategy really became a one, it's an assignment, but two, it's a passion for me. And going through my own financial hardship some, I don't know, 18 years ago, right? And going through that and depression associated with that and all of that that went into it and going from, you know, great money, great credit lines to bankruptcy, depression, and all of that. And yes, life happens to everybody. And
Mhm.
so the what happened is really less important than the coming out of the thing and going through it. After going through it, because not while I was in it, I realized I had to go through that storm in order to be able to go back into the storm to help people get out of the storm, right?
Mm, okay.
And
Mhm.
because when you're in it, and I don't care if it's a mist or torrential downpour, you can't always see your way out of it,
Right.
right? And so my storm happened some 18 years ago where there wasn't a lot of people like me. There wasn't
Mhm.
social media like it, like it is now. And so I
Mhm.
really had to go back and I had to figure it out. I had to research, I had to study, I had to come up with things. I had to rely on what was downloaded to me in order to do that. And so we don't talk about finances enough,
No,
right?
we don't.
And so part of that thing for me is being able to change the narrative so that we're talking about it more and
Mhm.
then being able to help people out of their storm and those that aren't even in storms um, be able to set up a financial system of success so that they can live the life that they want to live as opposed to the one that they get after paying bills.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like the fact that you mentioned, you can have like a storm some years ago, you can have good, and then it can go down, it can go back up. It's like a financial can be almost a roller coaster,
Mhm.
right? Because lives, things happen, inflation gets ahead of what your pay is,
Mhm.
so you have credit that's been established, you was using it exactly how it has to be used, and life happens, things break, car break, this break, and you find yourself then using credit because to fill in the gap sometimes, and then you get a blow with that on your credit report,
Mhm.
then you got it now credit debt, and so it feels like I was going here and now I'm back again, these crazy roller coasters. And I say all that to say, at the beginning of a year and even throughout the year as things are happening, you have to change the plan sometimes.
You do.
And that is where you are phenomenal at, because it says strategist.
Mhm.
So your strategy that you might have been doing that has kept you certain place when life hits, rather than continue spiraling in a state that can get you into depression, etc., it's a change in strategy, right?
It is. It is. It's a change in strategy. But one thing that I want to say is always give yourself grace and mercy. Like you have to give yourself some grace because there's a few things that play a part in what happens to people financially.
Mm-hmm.
What we inherited from our ancestors, and I'm not talking about assets, right? So what we inherited generationally, what we saw as a child, what we were taught as a child, what we weren't taught as a child, what we heard and what we overheard, right? So
Right.
all of that is playing a part, and then just your everyday life up until however old that you are. So all of these things play a part, and in most instances, people don't know why they operate the way that they operate. So
Mm-hmm.
part of my doing strategy with you, I say it's never just about the numbers. It's about discovery of yourself as well, right? You
Mm-hmm.
got to understand what are these things that you're doing and why. I had a client who credit cards were always maxed out, but through our discussion, and one day she said she had been planning a family trip, and she said her mother said, well, I can't go because my credit cards are maxed out. I said, hold on, let's talk about that for a minute. And she said, yeah, my mother's credit cards are always maxed out. They've always been maxed out. And I said, your credit cards are maxed out for the second time, right? And so you associate credit cards with being maxed out because that's what you saw. Your mother didn't go out to teach you that, but
Right.
that's what you saw, right? And so part of that strategy, so we got to give ourselves some grace.
And it's interesting that you say that, because literally, I would say within the last month or two max, I was sharing with my mom just some financial concerns, fears, anxieties, or whatever that I have in this new role as, a full-time entrepreneur and different things. And then she said, yeah, I can see that because you probably saw me struggle financially. And I paused because I was like, I don't remember seeing her struggle financially. I remember there being certain things, but I if I had to consciously say, I don't remember seeing her struggle financially. Did she work two jobs to keep me in private school? Yes, but I didn't see that as a struggle financially. I saw it as a sacrifice of wanting to make sure that we stayed in private schools.
So that's the thing that we learned. You didn't see it as a struggle. She did. She didn't let you know that. I'm going to do what I have to do in order to make sure my children can stay in these private schools. It's what we do all of the time.
Right. And so I guess for me, why I'm bringing it up is because she was saying during that time, everything that I was saying is how she was feeling during that time, and that I observed that, and that's why I'm kind of like I am. But I was like, I didn't get that. So I'm just like, is it just the energy maybe
Mhm.
that she
Absolutely.
was feeling, even though I perceived it differently, that it still took a hold in me some type of way?
Absolutely, it did. Because when you said she worked two jobs, somewhere in there, you know that, okay, my mother shouldn't be working two jobs. right? You know it. So that's one of those things. When I say things are passed down, it doesn't always have to be something that I told you to do. There's some things that we see that is now encoded or in our DNA that you see it, and it's going to show up in your life at
Gotcha.
some point in time. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
So in the introduction to yourself, here's just some of the things that fall under Crystal's umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I had to highlight again, if you do not have my journey, A Woman's Road to Amazing, you need that right now. You need to get that and have it delivered Amazon next day, because this is the beginning of your journey for 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to start tracking your road to that success of amazing. Your Financially Flawless question. She has the single moms and couples edition. You know, get whichever one, get the ones, get some extra, give them as gifts, right? The best gift you can give is to give somebody some financial freedom or advice. I'm telling you. You want to tune into the live conversations that happen every Sunday. I say the way it was the bullshit bar is how I started. I don't know if they might have dropped the bullshit bar. I don't know.
We did. We still have those conversations.
And of course, everything is reminding us that we are amazing women. So make sure you connect into the Amazing Women Network. So I wanted to make sure that they had a little bit of history about all of this, because as we're getting ready to move into our next segment, they can see this phenomenal foundation that you already have, and then why they should want to, come to my office hours are. But before we go into that, Crystal, we're going to listen to our sponsors and our organizers from our core businesses for this segment of upcoming events.
Lies a shared vision of uncompromising excellence in dentistry. To fulfill this mission, we are committed to listening to those we are privileged to serve, earn the trust and respect of patients, profession, and community. We at Today's Smile understand that your dental visit can be intimidating. Our staff takes pride in making you feel relaxed about receiving your dental treatment and maintaining a healthy smile. Your smile is everything.
Divine Diva Designs is where you can get all your unique one-of-a-kind designs and custom gifts. Affordable fashion and customized items are always a click away. Customer service and product quality are a part of our business core. We aim to dress those who also love, understand comfort with a touch of nostalgic vibes fit for any occasion.
Gear up for an exciting journey. Youth ages 10 through 16 years old. Join the UF's Adventures in Literacy program. Enroll now and embark on a literacy experience like never before. Visit www.buffme.org.
Operation Refuge now enrolling kindergarten to 12th grade, all school districts welcomed. The After School Boost is a safe after-school program that provides students with educational enrichment with a boost of fun and structured activities after school in their community. Contact Barbara Green or email operationrefugeprograms@gmail.com. The Michigan Chamber for Reproductive Justice. Precinct Game Day, an exclusive fundraiser event. Friday, January 12th at 7 p.m. Come watch the Detroit Pistons versus the Houston Rockets. Your donation includes exclusive seating to watch the game and unlimited snacks. Cost is $65. Visit bit.ly/MCRJ to purchase your tickets.
This Friday night decompression session hosted by Sonia M. Weaver and Jason Integrity. Come celebrate the wins, let go of the stress, vent, share, and encourage. Register on Alignable.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to YouTube, search Deals with Bob and click the subscribe button.
So welcome back. Okay. I want you to answer this question before we go into talking about your newer endeavor.
Uh-oh.
From your perspective, and you kind of said a little bit in your intro, if you had to say a couple things that people should know about you, and the work that you do and your why. Because I really want people to, we got this person does finances, but it's about then that relationship, because this is a topic that's so close to people. they have, it's like a tight lid, you know. They don't even want to talk about it. So we know that a relationship has to be established even for people to begin to open up about this topic. So I want you to say something that is going to help that person watching just connect to Crystal beyond all of the accolades, beyond the author, beyond being a leader over this network and over that, you know, just how they can be like, okay, Crystal, okay, girl, okay, you know, that relationship. What would you like to share and say?
So the first one is dealing with me. It's a judge-free zone, right? Because a lot of times people, they don't want to share their information because they know, they think, or they believe it's not where it's supposed to be. So I don't want to, you know, what happens in this house stays in this house. So they don't want to talk about that thing. This is a judge-free zone. One, because and that's why I talk about my own storm, so that people won't say, well, you can't understand. Oh no, I get it. Like, I understand being, you know, divorcing when my daughter was 4 and being the only one in my house contributing to the revenue because of that. I understand all of the things. So that it's a judge-free zone. The second thing is, I really want you to win. Like, I really want you to win, and I want you to be able to get to where you want to be. And that third piece is it's strategy, and the strategy is, it's not cookie cutter. I don't do cookie cutter strategy when I'm working with clients. It's specific to you, and it's never just about the numbers. We're going to do some financial therapy. People, you know what I mean? Because it's going to impact all areas of your life. So when you work with me, one, your information stops with me. It's not discussed with anybody else. However, it's personal. I understand. I truly want you to win. And I think that's why. And I'm really good at what I do. So, like, I'm really, really good at what I do. So it's not your traditional, oh, this is just about the numbers, because it's more than just the numbers. It's really, really about you. And I want you to live the life, again, that you want, not the one that you get when you're paying jobs. I mean, when you get after paying bills. So when you wind up working with me, that strategy that we create, when those things that you talked about earlier happen, when life happens, you now have the tools to be able to say, oh, wait, I know exactly what to do, or I have this already taken care of, because when I worked with Crystal, right, we could foresee that these things could possibly happen, and we're good. So, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Especially that third one. She wants you to win.
I do. Yeah.
And I'm going to say that her actions with this new endeavor is definitely co-signing that, because she's giving the most valuable resource to you, and that's her time.
Absolutely.
That's her time. So let me show you a clip.
To Office Hours with Crystal L. Gunn for your daily dose of financial empowerment. Join me every Monday through Thursday at 12 o'clock for more than just financial education. It's a journey towards financial wisdom and small business mastery. Why 12 o'clock? The hour marks a pivotal point in the day, a fresh start. It's a time symbolizing new beginnings and the potential for prosperity. It's a moment that echoes my mission to empower you with the knowledge and tools necessary for financial growth and success. The signature colors of black, white, and gold holds deep significance. Black represents power and sophistication, a nod to the strength inherent in informed financial decisions. White symbolizes clarity and purity, reflecting my commitment to transparent and honest guidance. Gold, the color of wealth and success, embodies my core aim of leading you towards financial prosperity. I believe in the power of unity and completeness. That's why the logo is circular, a shape that represents the wholeness and interconnected nature of financial knowledge and business acumen. It's a constant reminder that your financial journey is a complete cycle of learning, applying, and thriving. Tune in to Office Hours. Dive into a world where money talks make sense and small business strategies come to life. Let's embark on the path of financial enlightenment together. Monday through Thursday at 12 o'clock with a private online Q&A session immediately followed. Please be sure to subscribe and tune in Monday through Thursday.
Now, let's say this is very generous of you. I just would like to know a couple things. Where did this come from? What's driving it? All of that good stuff, because seriously, this is amazing.
So I do personal coaching one-on-one. There's only so many hours in the day, right? And there's so many people that need the information. So I literally was talking to someone else that I know, and we were talking about different marketing strategies. And he mentioned someone else who does training every single day. And I said, wow, that would be great to do. They do marketing training, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, that would be great to do for financial training. That way people can get this information. So I'm always thinking of how do I impact more people and how do I get them the information that they need in ways that's comfortable for them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to move away from personal financial coaching because it's not enough hours in a day and I can't have the massive impact. So through my nonprofit, I do a lot of workshops in person, and that's here locally. But there's people that are not here that also needs this information. So now it's there. You can do it live. You can go back and watch the replay, but you also have an opportunity to say, you know what? I got specific questions about me. Let me go to this private online chat afterwards and get my question answered that may help me go to the next level. Well, then I'm also have these, do you need life insurance? Well, let me write this policy for you. Do you need budgeting? Here, go get this budgeting workshop so that you can get your whole financial house in order in the way that you need to do it that's more comfortable with you. So it's another way to give this information back to people so that they can change their financial relationships.
That's awesome. So that just really shows the commitment to your craft and the impact that you would like to have for people, for their current situation, and then potentially with the knowledge, if they're applying it, how it would change the future generations. Because we talked about the impact and the influence of the negative things of seeing, the mother maxing the cars out and all the other stuff. But on the flip side, you have the good stuff, I'm assuming, right? So if you come from where you see your mother and your father, your parents, or single moms, or whatever the case you're raised in, managing finances properly, seeing money and looking at it as a tool to work for them, not having a fear about it, but embracing it and having conversations about it. I would imagine you growing up in that environment, you have a higher probability of you having good financial behavior. Is that true? Or maybe not?
Well, the thing that you have to realize is when we look at our parents, for people that are a little older than me, people that are like you're a little younger than me, right? They did the best that they could based off of whatever was happening. And it doesn't matter whether or not your parents were doctor, lawyer, or Indian chief, right? The times were different. And so what we're doing now is going to impact, it's going to impact us, but it's also going to impact, those two generations from us. But all of that, and it goes back to the cookie cutter thing. It's not a cookie cutter for everybody. Right. You have two people that make $100,000 a year, where one can only afford a mortgage payment of $1,000, and the other one can afford a mortgage payment of $2,000. Everybody's situation, what they're going through, what they've been through, and most people, and when I say most, I'm talking about almost everybody, is operating in survival mode, and they don't even know it. Right?
That's true.
And so operating in that survival mode impacts every area. Yeah, we know just to be Black in America, there's a whole lot of survival strategies that we have to have. But when you start talking about you're operating in that survival mode, that's a negative. And so we're passing that down to our children
Mhm.
because they're seeing a certain thing. And so for me, it's, several years ago, God, this was pre-pandemic, so this might have been 2018. I read an article that said in the year 2053, if the current financial trend continues, in the year 2053, Blacks will have zero wealth.
I remember you mentioning that.
Right. And I
Yeah.
said, well, my daughter's 22 now. You can do the math to see how old she was back then. But I'm like, I, I can't, that can't happen on my watch. Like it
Right.
cannot happen on my watch. So I'm going to do everything that I can, that I have in my power, in order to be able to change the conversation and change the narrative.
Yeah. I mean, that statistics alone right there was one of the reasons why I said I think I want to start a show where I be cussing folks out. And it was so bad because I'm in a church speaking to a pastor, like I'm about to cuss folks out.
Yeah.
And I'm in the church, like, because I don't give a shit. Because it's that serious. And if it takes me cussing, if it takes me getting mad and you see I'm mad, if it takes me doing all these extreme BS things because I'm coming to you correctly with information and it's boring you and you don't want to hear it, and I got to come to you stupid in order for you to get it, I almost feel like, okay, it's time for me to do that because we're running out of time.
We are running out of time. We're definitely running out of time. And with everything going on in the world today, I don't know that 2050, that we'll last till 2053, right? So it is an urgency for people to get. So part of what I do is I hold up a mirror to you. I don't have to, I'm not going to tell you that you going to Starbucks or whatever every single day is too much, because too much is a relative term. That's for you to decide. And so when we're building that your efficient and effective budget, because it's not just about having those bills on there, but when you're building that, I had a couple, and the husband goes to not Starbucks, the Speedway every morning on his way to work. Spend, I don't know, $7 to $10, whatever it is. And I said, well, it's not for you to tell him that he's going there. You need to show him how much money he spends. I said, but you also need to ask. She was like, but we got the coffee at home. We have this, that, he could do all of this at home. I said, but you need to find out why that's important to him. It could be that Summer's growing up with his grandfather, right? They went to Speedway or whatever, 7-Eleven every morning. So
Right.
that might be his way now to stay connected to his grandfather. And if it's something like that, then you still have to keep it in the budget. You can't say that you got to eliminate out of the budget, but you got to know why he operates that way. And it has to be up to him to decide, you know what, this is why I do it, but I don't need to do it anymore. Or I still need to do it because it's the thing that gives me my peace. And then you just include it in the budget. So it's conversation. It's never just about those numbers on the paper. It's so much more than that.
Right. I'm glad you said that because it is. And then a dual relationship, you're right, that if you don't have these open conversations and can talk about money, we know that that's one of those top things for divorces.
Yeah.
Is financial hardship and struggle and all those kind of things, So,
it absolutely is. And one of the things about that particular client, I was literally talking to the wife because the husband just didn't want to handle that. He was happy that she was going to handle the finances. But one of the things that she said several times through that, and I had to point it out to her, was she says, no, we're a team. And I just had to commend her for that, because we live in this world right now where it's, women against men, and it's this narrative. And I'm like, for you to say that, that's really, really, really important. But we have to start talking about it and understanding that you're bringing two people together that grew up in totally different households, that have totally different, financial practices, that grew up showing things differently. And so you can't just say you have to do things the way that I grew up, because who said the way that you grew up is the best way?
Right way.
Right? It's knowing what worked for you. So that's where that financially flawless questions came from, in order to be able to start to having conversations, because people don't even know where to start to talk about it.
Right. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. So, Crystal, before we move into our next segment, I need to acknowledge this segment's core businesses and events. So, guys, here we go.
The Amazing Woman Network was created to empower and unite Black women in reclaiming our personal power, mind, body, spirit, reclaiming our financial power, and increasing our social involvement as we own, honor, and execute our amazing.
Brytech Communications has the brightest ideas for all your surveillance needs and more. Feel confident and safe while in your home or away. Protect your business and property with advanced surveillance. Brytech Communications will provide you with the peace of mind you deserve.
The TGQ Law Firm 2024 kickoff event with AY alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Saturday, January 13th, at the Kensington Hotel Inn in Arbor, Michigan, beginning at 10 a.m. During this workshop, you will learn more about the importance of wills, trusts, and legacy planning. Register today for this free workshop at www.tgqlaw.com/events.
Community Conversations Brunch hosted by Kim, Electric Elevation. Saturday, January 13th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Arc Detroit, 51 West Hancock, Detroit, Michigan. Featuring Melanie Hines and Natasha Lee. Join us for a morning of inspiration, networking, and delicious food as we come together to discuss important issues in our community. General admission is $25. Tickets are available at www.melaniehines4michigan.com.
Virtual office hours with financial strategist Crystal Gunn. Your daily dose of financial empowerment. A journey towards financial wisdom and small business mastery. Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. through 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Personal finance and small business strategies. Begins January 15th.
Living the Dream presented by Our Own Wall Street. Join us for a celebration honoring the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. January 15th, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Norwest Gallery of Art, 19556 Grand River Avenue, Detroit, Michigan. Free admission and food, limited space, RSVP is required. Dress comfortably for low-impact workout.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to YouTube, search Deals with Bob, and click the subscribe button.
And welcome back. So, those of you that might be wondering, I always kind of do this for newbies, but it's been a minute. And actually, it's been a minute. I had to pause myself, my connection to my guest. And I believe the connection came from Judy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Grace is here, but at least a little bit.
Yep, it absolutely came through Judy.
Okay, great. At least I know. And those are like, who's Judy? Okay, Judy is another amazing woman, and we truly miss her at our NAACP meetings. She is truly a wealth of knowledge, but I know she's focused in on her nonprofit as it pertains to getting the information out for the voting. I know she's probably gearing up election year, but it was definitely a connection I appreciate.
Yes.
And not to even know, I lose track of when it happened. Definitely pre-COVID, know that much. I always use COVID now. It's like pre-COVID.
Yeah. It was definitely pre-COVID. And I would almost say several years prior to COVID.
Yeah.
In a minute. Yeah.
And my goodness, it does not feel like that much time has elapsed. It really doesn't. And I truly will say that what you see from Crystal, even on our show, on her show, is what you get. But actually, it's more than that. I mean, you don't get the genuineness all the time of the value of a friendship and friend she is. It's taken me a couple of months to process when she told me, look, this is no longer philanthropy work. You gotta get paid for what you're doing and this kind of stuff, to process that and then to be okay with it and still, hearing her voice when I'm not okay with it. Like, okay, You got to be okay with it. You got to be okay with it. Restructuring some things because you can't just give it away. You got to be okay with it. So I first want to say is I truly thank you for just being who you are. I mean, and it is phenomenal. Amazing definitely covers it. But I appreciate just all the gems that just get deposited really in a short amount of time that we're together. I mean, sometimes we're together goes longer than we expected. Sometimes
always
right. But we did good the other day. We can have a quick, concise conversation, but it would be packed with power in that time. And so I will say that I thank God for the connection that we've made. And I'm thankful for the collaborations that we have done in the past and that we will continue to do in the future.
Yeah, so. You're more than welcome. And I do have to say, I give credit where credit is due. First being my parents. And I sound like an award show, but no. But my mother is the epitome of that. She's going to tell you the truth, even if it isn't something that you want to hear, right? And I watched her doing this, and she's telling you from this loving and pure, genuine place. And I think that is something that I truly inherited from her. The other thing is, years ago, during that storm, when I said, okay, God, this is not how my life is supposed to be. Use me as you see fit. And you can't say that and not mean it. And so every day I go about trying to say, how do I do this assignment or assignments that were given to me? And then how do I have the impact that using these gifts, talents, and that I've been given, how do I use that to do the work?
Yeah. That is true, because, and this is a perfect lead into the next question, because I know I pray for my assignment, and it's like I love my community. I love helping the businesses, and especially my niche is more that 0 to 7 year business. I have people who are in business longer than that. And sometimes when you get past the 7 year, you kind of think I got it, but you always, don't ever get everything. So I do recognize that, but it's just something about that energy within that 0 to 7 years. But knowing that in my work for Black businesses and having them be structured properly, sustaining and thriving, and even those that want to scale. For you, Crystal, in your opinion, why are Black-owned businesses important to our community? And then the second part is, why is it imperative that they thrive?
Well, it's important to our community because without them, we can't survive, let alone thrive. We cannot survive. And it's important not only to our community, but it's important to the nation. So it's important to every other community as well, right? And so when we don't have programs that support Black businesses, and we don't have those things to empower, uplift, and help Black businesses strive, we fail not only that Black business and the community, but we fail the nation, because aren't we supposed to be able to all thrive? Isn't that the thing? Yeah. Now, why is Black businesses important to Black people? Well, because somebody got to hire us. Right? I mean, we know there's the system, the systemic stuff that is going to always try to hold us back.
Right.
And when we look at that, it shows us that others recognize our power more than we do. And it's not our nature, right, to oppress. That's not our nature. Exactly. Our nature is community. So we have to get back to who that is, and knowing and understanding that when we do well as an individual, when we do well as a business, we then do well as a community. And if we don't, 2053. We'll have nothing. And when you have nothing, what does that do for you? What does it do for your children? And what does it do for generations to come? So it's imperative that because if we don't, it means we have no power. We have no power, right? Other people get to do whatever they want to you. So it's not power to use in a negative form against somebody else, but how do we sustain as a culture?
Yes.
We don't own anything. We don't have any power. If you don't have economic power, you have nothing.
You have nothing. Right.
Nothing. So yeah.
And I literally, two things from what you were saying. One, when you say we operate differently, I literally yesterday had a conversation with someone about that. When it comes to business, we have to recognize our true nature and recognize we don't function in the way that the world is writing how business is supposed to function. Right. We don't kill, steal, destroy, backstab, climb over, do all of that kind of stuff. And that's really not in our nature. We have to get back to the unity piece and knowing that if we increase that dollar within our community, we was the strongest. We were the strongest. We talk about Black Wall Street. It's not like it can't come. The formula doesn't change. You know, as long as we have learned algebra equations from whenever they started, they're still algebra equations to this day. Formulas do not change. Unity and working collectively, having dollars circulate within your community is a formula that works. We see it in other communities all around us
every day.
Therefore, we have to get whatever, the white ice is colder syndrome out of our minds, because we drunk like 5 pitchers of the Kool-Aid.
We have to unlearn. We have to unlearn and become unconditioned. And if we have to recognize that we're better together.
Yes.
We're better together. And so, and that goes from business to church to every aspect of it. We're better together, but it goes back to, and we have to understand that's still a survival strategy.
Yeah.
It's still a survival strategy. So I don't want to see you have more than me. I don't want to see your bit. And it's like, are you kidding me? Why are you not coming together so that you increase your purchasing power, that you do all of these things? So yeah, and so that's part of my assignment. We got to talk about it, and then we have to change the narrative. We got to do it differently. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And the other thing, as you were talking, that came to me is the connection of, for us to have businesses that thrive. As an individual business owner, you have to have a positive relationship with money.
Because if your personal finances are a mess, your business finances are going to be a mess.
Exactly.
And just because you mentioned those years, just because someone's been in business, that is one of the things that is a downfall. Well, I've been doing this for 10 years, or I've been doing this for things. Yeah, you have. But you may have made, $1 million last year in gross revenue. But really, if you sit with me, we could turn that into 3. But because we feel like, but I know what I'm doing. Yeah, but there's always still things and ways that you can. And so to go out and have those conversations, but unfortunately, those aren't the things that enough of us value.
Yeah. What has helped, because we have a tendency to have our eyes on sports, is I kind of say, so did Steph Curry play for a team that don't have a coach?
Correct. Exactly.
Because every successful person has a coach.
Everybody needs a coach.
And it's because
you get this coach, and then when that coach has helped you to where they are, then now you get another coach.
Right.
You need a coach. And you mentioned in the beginning of this, the Happy New Year, and we don't buy into New Year's resolutions. Yeah, we got an episode on a podcast that specifically says the bullshit of New Year's resolutions. However, people are still going to do them. If it's one thing that you resolve to do for yourself this year, is to get you coaches.
Yes. That is the first investment I made the day that I was let go. Then after I hung up with them, I contacted a coach.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I guess it's time for us to start working.
Yeah.
I've worked with different people. So if you think like, oh, the word coaching has become a overly saturated term, okay, think of something different. I don't know what you want to call it,
whatever you want to call
but
it.
you need someone who's an expert on where you want to go. And when you're in it, just like if you're a basketball player, and when you're on the court in it, you don't see all the different things. That is what the perspective of a coach brings to you, along with their experience and expertise. While you're in it, they're guiding you on the choices that you need to be making.
Experience, expertise, and other connections, right?
Yes.
I can save you the trouble going down that road because I'm going to connect you to this person that I know and trust. Call them for this thing that you need.
Mm-hmm.
And that all of that becomes invaluable, but we have to put ourselves first. And that's what coaches are for. You are putting yourself first and recognizing, listen, you don't try to, unless you just know how to do this. If something happens to your engine, you're going to the mechanic. If your teeth fall out, you're going to the dentist, right?
Exactly.
So why would you not do this in these other places? Why would you not have somebody that's going to help your business thrive, that's going to help you personally thrive in your finances, when that's the thing that's fueling your life?
Yes. And I don't know. I say, I love me. I love me some me. So therefore, I'm going to invest in me.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I invest in me before I do anything else?
Before I buy all of the things, right?
Exactly.
Before I go spend more money on things, what am I going to do? And so when, those buzzwords of self-care and all of that, it's like, yeah, your personal finances is part of that. It allows you to do the self-care, but it is also self-care in itself to make sure that you are personally, financially stable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good pause for there as we take a moment to look at some more featured businesses and events coming on in our community.
Tranquility Christian Counseling specializes in the treatment of depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, grief and loss, and a variety of inner conflicts that diminish the joy of living. They have a holistic approach to counseling. They offer a clinical and spiritual approach to therapy. They empower people to believe in themselves with clarity, unity, and growth.
Come see us at Tax Divas. We offer tax preparation services for businesses, personal, home business, multi-level marketing, and nonprofits. We are fast, offering an in and our preparation. We offer a convenient pick-up and drop-off service. We charge no upfront cost for tax preparation. We are open for business. Call 313-757-6829 to schedule an appointment.
The Western Wayne County NAACP presents Civil Rights in the Black Church. This event will be facilitated by Pastor Velma Overman on Wednesday, January 17th at 6 p.m. Watch virtually via Facebook on the Western Wayne County NAACP Facebook page.
Beyond Broken, Inspiring Lives After Loss. Presented by Tranquility Christian Counseling. Group session Friday, January 19th from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. 24100 Southfield Road, Southfield, Michigan. Register today on Eventbrite.
Building Black Brick Masters presents A Conversation for the Ages. Saturday, January 20th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Shrine of the Black Madonna Church, 7625 Linwood Avenue, Detroit, Michigan.
Not your traditional vision board party. Linked has taken vision to the next level. Empower your tomorrow, wear your vision today. Come beat your 2024 vision bracelet and or your I Am Affirmation bracelet. Saturday, January 20th, anytime between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. at 24100 Southfield Road, Southfield, Michigan. Register today.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to YouTube, search Deals with Bob, and click the subscribe button.
Welcome back. So, as you can see, we do like to promote events within our community, and having a flashback, we had a series of events that we promoted on this platform.
Yes. They are coming. They are coming back.
Okay, that's what I was waiting to hear. This was towards the end of the year, but then I was like, let me add this in to see if there's some tea, because we're entering tea time.
So this is United Community Solutions is my nonprofit, and I do a lot of. I'll be doing more this year than last year. Workshops that are typically, so workshops are always free, and as you can see, they're always is specific topics. And let me tell you why. There's so much that goes into finances that there's no way you can cover everything that you need in one setting. So I'm not going to do, I mean, I can, but I try not to do when it's a workshop that I'm hosting too much in one setting, because what happens is you get all this information, and then you take it and you don't do anything with it because someone threw up on you, right? And then the other thing that I will say is never come to just one. If you come to a budgeting workshop, come to every budgeting workshop, because one is going to be different information, but two, when you've done, let's just say if it's the alphabet, right? A through Z. If you've done A through D, right? Now you're ready for the next one. You need to come back, because it's so much in it. So free workshops all day. Yeah. Again, just another way to come out and get some information. And we have to stop thinking that someone's going to think a certain thing because I'm at a financial workshop.
Right.
What they should be thinking is this person is making sure that they're setting their life up right. And they're coming, you know what I mean? They're coming to get that information. So again, it's others that I will be doing. I'm doing something financially specifically for women in 2024. And then I'm linking up with someone else because they do a lot in the community and they want to bring the financial aspect into it. So all of those will be on the website. People will know where to find them, and just drop in to whichever ones around the city you want.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, Crystal, here's one of those $1 million questions.
Uh-oh.
What in the world keeps you encouraged? You got all of this going.
Girl, listen, and we only touch on a small portion of what I do. It goes back to my faith, and what I do has been assigned to me. And even when I fall short and I'm like, oh God, can I do this? I got to go back to, if God gave me the assignments, the only way it doesn't happen is if I don't do it. And then the other thing is, when people say, sit with Crystal for 30 minutes, it'll change your life. Or when people say, I worked with her and it changed my, it changed my thought process. It changed my financial situation. It did all of that. That's the thing that keeps me going, and understanding what you said. We don't have a lot of time to be able to fix these things. And so if I'm not going to do it, like, if not me, right? And there are other people that are out there that do it. And so, I don't have to be your person, but you need a person.
Exactly. That's exactly what I say.
Yeah.
You may not vibe with me, but find who you vibe with,
and then
because you need it. That's like saying, like, you go back to the dentist,
Right.
You may not like that dentist, but find you a dentist if you want to keep your teeth.
You want to keep your teeth.
It's just like,
that's the thing. And when I can see that change in somebody, it's like, this is why I do, part of the reason why I do the thing that I do. Or when someone recognizes me and says, oh, this is the financial lady, then I'm like, okay, I'm doing my part, because people recognize and trust that. I have people that will send me things on social media, videos, and they're like, okay, is this true? Or tell me about it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, that means I'm doing my job.
Right. Or I was in a room and I hadn't seen somebody in a while. He was like, hey, Bob.
Exactly. And it's like, that means, and I absolutely love what I do. Like, I love it.
Yeah, that goes a long way. I feel you. When I can do it. See, here's the problem. I can do it and not get paid, right? but I can't not do that no more. But
And
that's how much I
another
love
thing.
what I do.
And that's one of the things, like, you get so much in a workshop from me, like you just wouldn't even, but it's also a mindset. So when I say it's not just about the numbers, it's about you learning you, but it's also a shift in that mindset. And if I can get you to think something differently, right? If I can open the cage door and let you become free, then it's it. And we have to go back to understanding ourselves, our worth, and putting the value back into who we are. Because a lot of times we don't want to pay people that look like us. But here's the thing, a lot of times you go to people that don't look like you. Now there are people that don't look like you that are going to help you. So I'm not saying all, but so many times there's people that don't look like you that they're not going to give you the keys to the kingdom. I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom.
Exactly. So, wow, Crystal, before we wrap up tonight's conversation, we do have a couple of more events that we're going to highlight, and then we just have some closing questions. So, okay.
The goal. We are Boss Entertainment Group Detroit, the premier independent business, media, consultation, performance, and music hub in the United States and Detroit. We now present our Boss Live show highlights. Here are some amazing clips from the virtual show featuring Max Suavo. To see the entire legendary show, please go to YouTube at Max Suavo Rhythms. Stay tuned to Get to Know Bob, hosted by the amazing Sonia Weaver, for more exciting independent events, releases, and products from Boss Entertainment Group Detroit. Boss
Business
approved.
Breakfast Series, Scaling Minority-Owned Business, hosted by the Detroit Black Chamber of Commerce. Moderator Ken Harris, PhD. January 25th from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. to the GM Theater. Registration required.
Biz Life Book Club Meetup. Presented by Charles McKay of Detroit Metro Plug Podcast and Jermaine Wyrick of Fathers Justice Law. Wednesday, January 31st, starting at 6:30 p.m. at 9300 Pardee Road, Taylor, Michigan. Virtual option via StreamYard. Chapters 1 through 5 of Atomic Habits by James Clear will be discussed.
Permission to Love Again, presented by the Azal Bennett Lockett Foundation. Saturday, February 17th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. At the Wayne County Community College District Northwest Campus, 8200 West Outer Drive, Detroit, Michigan. Cost is $25 to $40 per person or per couple. Register on Eventbrite.
Let us support you and your upcoming event by promoting it on our show. Visit www.dealswithbob.com and contact us today, and we will begin promoting you tomorrow. Together we make it happen.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to YouTube and search Deals with Bob and click the subscribe button.
So welcome back. Now, the $1 million question. What book is currently on your nightstand or that you recently read or would highly recommend reading? Finding. Ooh. In the you know, I said, ooh.
And it's not on Amazon. You literally, if you search for this title, and Terry Bean is the author, and he's actually from Michigan. He is the author, and you buy it right off of his site. And like, I bought it and got it in a couple of days. But he also takes you through this. So, you know, people are doing these vision board parties, and it's great. Now you have this vision board, but what are you doing in order to make that happen? And that's really, like, it's an incredible story that he has about how this book even happened. But then it's breaking it down into goals that you can make sure that the things are happening. And it's more powerful than a vision board party in order to be able to do that. So that is what, as you can see right here, and I didn't even know that you were going to ask that question. So, yeah. And he's a really cool dude. Like, yeah.
Okay, awesome. I got that written down. So, tell us, Crystal, how can people connect with you? And then if you have any final remarks.
Absolutely. CrystalGunn.com is the easiest way. You also can go to unitedcommunitysolutions.org. The dates haven't been updated for the free workshops yet. I'm solidifying all of those. And then you also can go to crystalgun.pro for the office hours. That's going to take you directly to the YouTube channel, but also houseinорder.info. So that's that whole financial movement, and you will find information from wills, trusts, life insurance to other streams of income. Go there, start to get your financial house in order. But crystalgun.com, because you can schedule a session with me. You can schedule a consultation with me to see if you want to work with me for personal financial strategy, business strategy, credit restoration and coaching, and
just the umbrella.
Right.
I love it. Yeah. Love it. Any final remarks?
Get your house in order. Get your doggone house in order.
Get your house in order, people.
There is no time. It's not we're running out of time. We've run out of time.
We've run out of time.
So with everything happening in the economy today, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And so, but one of the things that I see as a bright spot is if people do it, we should be coming back together as a community, because there are going to be people around you that need that assistance, You know, it might be your parents because they, are on retirement or Social Security. And with the prices of everything going through the roof, we have to start thinking about other people. Even if you're okay, even if you say, I'm okay, I can pay for this, that, or the other, you probably can, but I can guarantee you're still not putting away the amount of money that you were putting away before. Yeah. So we're better together, and we just have to, it's time for us to rise.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Collectively. Exactly. Exactly. It has been an amazing conversation. I thank you, Crystal, for coming on, sharing your wisdom, inspiring others, getting people to, get serious about their finances and how they're looking at it, and the big umbrella that it encompasses when it comes to your well-being, your healthy being of your finances. Yeah. I want to also say an additional thank you to our core businesses, Boss Entertainment Group, Mona Lisa's Lyrics, Linked LLC, and for Volume Express Training Centers. We thank you for your sponsorship of tonight's show. And if you have not already done so, there's been several little plugs going in there for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. What do? You go onto YouTube, do a search for Deals with Bob, and click that subscribe button. While you're there, you can click that notification bell. Then you'll know every single time that we go live. Mark your calendars. We have some upcoming amazing conversations lined up. Next Wednesday, we will be speaking with Dr. Portia Lockett, the founder of the Azelle Benet Lockett Foundation. As you know, when we had her previously on, it was a great conversation, so you do not want to miss it. And coming back, Mr. Marvin Cotton, author of Better Not Broken. He is facing a new challenge that we're going to be discussing. So you want to make sure you mark your calendar so that you can chime in, because I don't know who we got to fight, but it's somebody we're going to have to fight. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I just want to say I appreciate you guys. Make sure you share this episode with others. It was so much information that was in here. Someone needs to be set free from their financial bondage. There is freedom on the other side, but you have to do the work. And if you have someone helping you navigate that path, it's a little bit easier. So again, thank you, Crystal Gunn. We thank you for those viewers that are watching. And as always, I am Sonya Weaver. I encourage you to spend with purpose, because your dollar does count. And deal with Bob. Have an amazing night. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.